it's a field. It's a field that is specialized in automotive industry, and that is what I can say. When you go to Kenya Technical Teachers Trainers College, you learn the communication skills, you learn the entrepreneurship education, and also mechanical technology, that is technical drawing, and many other units that comprise the automotive technology. Yeah.
Why is this important? You know, you want to pick each of those and how they are, you know, very significant to a driver's, you know, profession.
They are significant to the driver's profession because, you know, our drivers, most of them did not perform so well in their O levels. And so if at all we give them this education, it really helps them not to get stuck on the roads.
When you say stuck, what do you mean?
When they have breakdowns on the road, actually they will be stuck. And so the training that we give them is really to make them fully understand, if at all they get breakdowns on the road, what are they supposed to do on their vehicles? Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to take a short breather and come back to what exactly you should do if you have a breakdown, because I think we want to go deeper.
Sure.
You know, we're giving a bit of, you know, here and there, but now we want to go deeper on what are these things that Mr. John is actually talking about when you get to a breakdown. Whichever specific breakdown it is, he's going to be telling us what action you should take at that point in time, in that unique case and scenario. Talk to me at Lookup TV. After this break, we come back still live with this discussion on technical training and its importance to road safety right here on The Arrival Live.
Hi there, my name is George Muteti, Senior Sales Manager, Optren Real Estate, and we are happy to be here at our offices at Absa Towers, 14th floor along Lloyd Street. And it's a beautiful day, and we are happy to host a special friend, Mr. Kimani, Chairman of Kenya in Northwest community in Seattle, Washington. Please, I want to give him a chance to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, George, for having me. I'm glad to be here at Optiven headquarters in Nairobi. And I'm down here in Kenya. I had to come and make this visit and meet with the founder of the Optiven, foundation, and companies. So I'm so glad to be here, even to visit the headquarters. This is a place where I always wanted to come, because it is nice to partner with people that are doing wonderful things here in Kenya.
Maybe Mr. Kimani, I'd like to ask you, what do you like about Optiven?
What I like about Optiven is what they are doing here for our people. It is all about empowering our people here in Kenya and also in diaspora. I have seen the work they have done. I've been associated with Mr. Washiori. Wow. And truly, you have made a difference in a lot of people's lives. Whether it's in diaspora or here in Kenya. I'm also aware of the foundations, that he has founded here in Kenya, and the work that he is doing. And I'll tell you, I have not met anybody else who is doing what the Optiven is doing here in Kenya. And
maybe I'd like to ask you, what do you like about Optiven properties project, Mr. Kimani?
About the Optiven properties,
yes.
Their credibility is what I like most.
Wow.
In diaspora where we are, the thing that we don't find is credible people that we can trust, because we want to invest back here, back home. And that is everybody's aim when you are in diaspora.
Wow.
Home is best, east or west.
Yes, sure.
And if you find somebody that you can trust, and know you can invest with them, and your investment will grow while you're still in diaspora, doing whatever you are doing, that is the most important thing.
So what is your comment about, in our properties, we ensure that there's water, there's power, You know, we ensure that the projects are green, the land is prepared, ready for construction. What is your comment about that?
That is incredible, because it sets the pace. When you want to invest, you just don't want to invest anywhere. You want to invest with somebody who is developing their land.
Correct.
You know, and you want the amenities to be there. So when you come, whether you want to build your house, you can just straight away go ahead and start the construction. You know, not grounds. You know, we are buying properties, or we were a while back before we met Optiven. And you could buy properties in areas that are not developed. There is no water, there is no electricity, there are no roads, and that investment will take time to grow. But with your investment, the pace is way faster. You know, for growth for our investments. Whether we are buying it for investment or whether we are buying it to build a home, you know, it is ready to be built. You know, and you can just come in and start the construction right away. There is water, there is roads. You know, you have truly, you know, prepare the ground for us.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You know, that's very humbling. What is your word to diaspora people when it comes to investment, especially in partnership with Optiven Real Estate?
Our thing is to encourage them to come back home and invest here. And a lot of them, as young as they are looking for those investments, because we are encouraging them. Start investing when you are young. Don't wait, you know, to enjoy life like most people used to do. But set apart a little part of your earnings and start investing at a very early age. And that is how your investment will grow. Your investment will grow with you. And when you are provided a vehicle like Optiven, what else can you ask for? You know, the roadmap is set for you. All you have to do is step in, partner with Optiven, and see your investment grow. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on
Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us for Hashtag The Morning Drift. This is the Arrive Alive, where we discuss everything road safety. And I want to take a look at, of course, what Mr. John has prepared for us. He is a technical trainer, and that is on matters driving, yes. And of course, Mr. John, we have always wanted to emphasize on why it is important for drivers not to assume that just because my father was driving and I saw him drive, I am trained and good to be on the road. What are some of the benefits of training? And of course, some of those will be coming on your screen as he speaks. They will be highlighted on the screen as well, so that you are keeping tabs with the discussion. And now we're going to be starting with the benefits of training. What are some of them?
So some of the benefits of training, the defensive training. One, it is basically for safety. You mean, all of us, we are using the road, and you are not on the road alone. And because you are not on the road alone, we really need to even look into the safety of other road users. So that's the reason why we are doing this training. Again, we are also seeing at increased morale of the drivers. You know, a well-organized road even makes the driver feel more happier and healthier. And on the other hand, we also reduce costs in terms of in line of time, because when the road is well organized, people spend few time or less time to go to work or to drive to where they are going to their destination. And also, we are reducing the cost in terms of operational costs, that in terms of vehicle repair and maintenance, because that's another aspect that we are looking into in our training. Yeah.
Okay, now please continue with your presentation.
So now,
yeah.
Road safety. Why are we talking about road safety? Road safety is taking care of yourself and the people who are around you. Remember, when the driver is safe, then the occupants of the vehicle will be safe. At the same time, the load or the cargo will be safe. It will arrive to its destination. And at the same time, the vehicle itself will be safe. And if the three are safe, even the other road users are going to be very, very safe. So how the driver can change their attitude? How do we change our attitude on the road? Because you realize that if you have a positive attitude, then you are a safe driver, you are a low-risk driver. But if you have a negative attitude, then you are a high-risk driver. So what do we mean by positive attitude and negative attitude? So it's you, the driver, it's not the car that is safe. So the driver is the one who is supposed to be safe, and the driver has to change their story. So how do the driver change their story? The driver has to change their story because the driving starts with the mind. So the driving starts with the mind, and so the driver must change their state of mind, that is the attitude, and then they put the strategy of how they are going to be safe on the road. So we are saying a change in driving attitude is the responsibility of everyone. We all must take ownership in preventing accidents. So attitude and responsibility in driving, there are things that contribute to drivers to have a negative attitude. That is one, we have what we call the antecedents or activators. You realize that when you are on the road, you are driving, there is one driver who will overspeed even after seeing the speed limits. And so when he passes you, you will realize that you will also do the same, and that brings behavior. So behavior, we have three categories of behavior that comes as a result of envying what other people are doing on the road. One of them, we have the child driving, we have the parent driving, and we have the adult driving. Under each, we have the consequences. But in behaviors, what I want to tell you, in child driving, I want to mention a few characteristics of a child driver, and you see whether you fall amongst them. Child driving is whereby a driver, when you want to pass them, they speed off. They increase the speed. They don't slow down so that they give you space. And child driver, again, they can cut the lane and then they can pass you, they can overtake and then cut the lane immediately, which forces the other driver to brake instantly, which is not very good, to apply emergency brakes. Child driving also, we see it when the driver is competing a lot. They have the child character, which they envy a lot when they are driving. And we have this on the roads. We also have the parent drivers. They talk a lot on the road. You can find that even when they are driving, they stop the vehicle in the middle of the lane and then they start chatting. Or they can park the vehicle when the vehicle is right inside the road. And this can really cause accident, as you know that you are not on the road alone with we are sharing the road with other drivers. So adult drivers, this is where we want all the drivers to be, because you know, if you are an adult driver, then it means you are going to bear others' mistakes, and then you are not going to capitalize on that mistake. So if at all someone does bad to you, they overtake you in a bad way, they tailgate you, then you only give them a thank you, and then you go your way. So we have the consequences in the two, the child driving and the parent driving.
Yes.
First consequence, you'll be arraigned in the court of law.
Okay.
And you'll be charged, and then you pay some fines. Second consequence, you'll be in hospital beds, probably because you have broken your ribs, and you'll be there spending a lot of money and time. And then the last one probably the last one probably you'll die, and if you die, you can just imagine the consequences of what your family is going to go through. So when we say psychology of driving, each driver has all these three. You have the child driving, you have the parent driving, and you have the adult driving. So what we are saying here, if at all you can
Yes.
If at all you can balance your personality so that you bring it to adult driving, then you are good to go. But if at all you cannot be able to balance the personality on the driving, then the consequences are there, and you are going to involved in a road accident, or you are going to pay a lot of money in terms of hospital bills, in terms of fines that you are going to pay to the policemen.
All right, Mr. John, I want
Yes.
us to go pictorial now. There are different pictures that are, of course, on this discussion today, and there is a green bus that we have seen that has veered off the road, and I want to understand from a technical trainer's perspective what exactly might have happened in this situation. So if you can have that on screen, the green bus that is veering off, what is that situation? Can you explain that to us? And what was the driver supposed to have done to either avoid that situation or even counter what was yet to happen?
As usual is in our Kenyan roads, we have the exits and we have the entries. So the driver in a green bus is trying to use the entry to get out, to exit, which is a violation of the rules of the road. And this can majorly cause a brutal accident,
Okay.
because the other motorists will not be able to know his intention. And probably we have seen this with our matatu drivers. They are doing this, but it is not totally acceptable.
Okay, so
Yes.
it is being done as we're speaking.
Yeah, so, and this is as a result of the attitude. These are the negative attitudes that we are talking about, and our drivers are supposed to align what they have so that they maintain, they stick to the lane. If at all it is entry, they get to the entry lane. If at all it is exit, then they should use the exit to exit the main road.
And I know what you have said for sure is the person, the oncoming, might not really know what this driver is up to.
Sure.
Let's look at another situation. Of course, slide number 10, just seeing KCC 219V. There's that lorry in the middle of, I think, a bus and another lorry. If you can have that picture also on screen, just so we understand what was happening in that situation with our expert on set. If you can have that situation, there we go. The KCC 219V.
So these are child drivers.
Child, the psychology is child here.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're trying to compete. So in as much as they are competing now, they are all stuck. So their competition has really caused even the others to stop. So you can imagine your mistake. Mistake of one driver or two drivers can cause the whole road to be in a mess. And that's why we see so many traffic jams on our highways.
But sometimes when you're training drivers, there's a vehicle that has the right to weigh. I know there's ambulances, brigades, presidential escorts. There are bigger vehicles that we also told, you know what, move aside for this vehicle. When I look at these three vehicles, who is the child here really? I mean, who should have given way? I will still go back to that picture with KCC on it. What was supposed to be done? Which driver was supposed to do what?
As much as you are driving on the road, all of us, we are supposed to be cautious and very keen. There is no one who has a right of way.
Okay.
But of course, we have vehicles which has precedence over the others.
Yes.
And they are only having the right of way if at all they are having a siren.
All right.
And they are only going to attend to that emergency.
Okay.
But for this case, these are just normal drivers. And now they are supposed to take responsibilities. So they refuse to take responsibility, and that is the reason why you can see they're stuck on the way. So all of them, when you are driving the vehicle, you are supposed to keep distance. And keeping distance, what do we mean by keeping distance? You must keep enough following distance to be for you to be able to see what the other driver is intending to do.
Okay.
Which our drivers failed, they did not do that. And that's the reason why you are seeing the mess.
All right, that's quite a bad one. And of course, let me see, there's quite a, some sort of traffic
Sure.
You know, if I look at one of the photos, it looks like some sort of traffic, but I don't know where you're coming from with this particular picture. If you can have that on screen and get your analysis on the same. It's like Thika Road this morning.
Yeah, this is Thika Road.
Yes. Oh, this is still Thika Road.
Yeah.
Then we experience a lot of traffic on
Yeah.
Thika Road, and I've always been asking myself, what then is the, you know, the explanation behind
So
this?
this is the driver who is an activator. So he just decided to cut the lane, and then the other drivers just started following blindly without knowing where they are going.
Which driver is this?
The first one in the white car, the front one.
Okay.
So he realized that he made a mistake, so he decided to do that, to make that move. And then these others just followed without knowing what was ahead.
My goodness.
This is what always happens on our roads. Activators, when they do something, people envy them without knowing what they're going to do. And at the end of it, you find yourself getting stuck, or you get yourself involved in road accidents.
I'm curious, why would this happen? Of course, I know that those who have their driving licenses are above 18 years old. Number one, they're trained drivers.
Yes.
Why would you follow an activator when you know the rules of that road, how it works, speed limits, etc., exits and entries? What is the psychology behind this?
They always do this mainly as a result of they want to avoid built-up on the road, or they want to avoid traffic jams on the road.
Okay.
So you realize that if at all they did not plan their journey well, they are late, so they want to reach their destination on time. So they will think that the activator will be the best person to do that. You even realize at one point, the matatu drivers, they drive on the pavement.
Yes, they
and
do.
Even the private vehicles will start following them because
Overlapping.
yes, they start overlapping. And this is totally unacceptable, and this is totally against the law.
And that is what we call now that matatu driver becomes the activator.
Yes.
In that situation.
In that situation.
All right.
Or
now,
even activator can be even your children inside your vehicle, or even pedestrian inside the vehicle. You hear them shout to the driver, "Na huyu driver, huyu ni Kobe." So he's
and
not
that
able
means
to.
he's slow.
Yes, very slow.
Okay.
And now you realize that the driver will be activated and he will start speeding, and thereby you can just imagine the consequences of overspeeding with the public service vehicle.
All right.
Yeah.
So sometimes even the passenger can be an activator.
Yes.
And this
of
could
course.
and what I'm seeing is that activation is not coming in as a positive thing.
Not really.
All right.
It's a negative thing. That's why I said we have positive attitudes and we have negative attitudes.
All right.
So like in this scenario, this is a negative attitude.
That is a negative attitude.
Sure.
If you have been an activator before, we are hoping you're following closely the conversation. Please talk to us. The comment section is open for you to ask as many questions as you can as far as technical driving is concerned. Now, we're taking pictorial analysis today. We've checked on quite a number, and there is one that has been an aspect that is not really categorized as overloading. But you see, we see, boda bodas carrying some really interesting loads. We've seen vehicles also carry the people who sell mangoes or farm products also using their vehicles. And I really do not know what you have to say about picture that is now on the screen, like just what I've mentioned, cabbages you can see there. What is this, to the roads? Is it hazardous? Because I think it's pretty hazardous.
This is so much hazardous, and not only hazardous, we lose a lot of money in terms of repair cost for this particular vehicle.
Okay,
Remember,
also
each and every vehicle has a capacity which it can carry. And you look at the manufacturer specifications, they specify the type of load and even the kg that you are supposed to carry without exceeding. So if any case you exceed this kg, then it means you are losing the point and you are making the vehicle life to be shorter. For instance, for this Probox car, it's not supposed to exceed 395 kg.
okay.
That is passengers and the load. But you look at the picture, the drivers really exceeded.
Absolutely.
And then the end result, the shocks, the suspension system will be worn out, the steering system will not work effectively, and even the vehicle has no balance. You try to apply even the brakes, it will not be there because of the load that is carried on the vehicle. So you realize that doing this, most people think that they are going to make a lot of money.
Yes.
But you can take an instance, everything that is carried on that board and then try to sell them, if at all they can even afford one shock absorber. Absolutely not.
So it's a loss.
So in car, loss at the expense that you think that you are doing the best.
All right.
So it is not acceptable.
It is not acceptable.
And this is against the law?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I want to see some of the feedback on Facebook. Pius Mukunyi is watching, saying Baba Nema Niko tuned. I'm also seeing Kennedy Jumba Asirigwa saying locked in as usual. Count me in. I'm watching live from Bururu Center, Likuyani Sub-County. I'm watching live with Sally Daniels. Thank you very much. And of course, Gichuki tuned in around the city. Thank you very much for being part of the conversation. Joyce Kimari saying tuned in as usual. Hello, good people. Let's all arrive alive. And also adding that our driving attitude needs to change. I believe congestion on most of our roads are caused by bad driving and don't care attitude. Sadly, we all pay the price. You want to talk about the don't care attitude?
Yes.
Yes.
You look, there is a picture there.
Which one is that?
Screen? This one here?
Yes, yes, yes. The next slide. We just want to take a look at that picture where we have a pedestrian trying to run across the road. Maybe it's going to come on your screen shortly. A pedestrian trying to run across the road with a vehicle right next to it.
Yes, you look, that's a flyover or an overpass.
Is it a footbridge?
A footbridge, yes.
Yes.
So the dog, which is a dog, is passing through the flyover, but the dog, which is a human being, is passing down.
You just
so you can just
dog
imagine.
So you're saying that the dog is on the footbridge, but the human who should be using a footbridge is running across the road. Okay.
So this is the reason why at one point pedestrians are being knocked at the pedestrian paths. You know, you are supposed to use the pedestrian designated areas. One of them, we have the flyovers, which are given by the KENHA.
The footbridges.
The footbridges for the pedestrians to use. Apart from that, we also have the pedestrian crossing points, which are marked on the road, and we also have underpasses where you can pass. These are pedestrian designated areas. Another one, we also have the place where it is controlled by the traffic marshals.
Yes.
And also a place which is controlled by the traffic warden. We also have the place that is controlled by the school wardens. So these are the pedestrian designated areas. So we are only requesting pedestrians.
Okay.
We are beseeching you that whenever you are crossing the road, to avoid to be on the mess, try to use the pedestrian designated areas, as this will reduce accidents that always occur on those points. Remember, if you see a footbridge, then that area, that's a highway. And
so the speed is pretty much really high.
The speed is very high. So the drivers will not be able to see you because, you know, our roads, it's a dual carriageway.
Okay.
Probably the first driver will see you, but the second one will not be able to see you.
And when they miss you, in most cases, we see them die on the spot.
Yeah, so we have seen people die, and a lot of accidents has occurred in such kind of areas, and we are supposed to restrain from such kind of behaviors.
All right, of course, as we are trying to also wrap up because of time, we're going to move a little faster.
Sure.
And I'm seeing animals there, and we're asking who then suffers in a case of a crash.
Yes.
Real quick, as we move closer to, of course, other mistakes that we see, including not exceeding the speed limit. So just with that flow.
You realize that in case of accident, who suffers? We have put that animal to signify the driver. So driver is the one who is actually down, and the family is the one who is actually helpless just around there. So in case of accident, driver is the one who is suffering.
Okay.
And 2, the family will suffer. 3, friends will also suffer a lot. The employer will suffer.
Absolutely.
And even the government will suffer.
Absolutely.
So the drivers must take responsibility. And what is the responsibility? You must take the responsibility to be safe on the road. And responsibility begins with the driver, and responsibility is in the mindset of the driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about the car is not supposed to be safe, it is the driver who ought to be safe.
Yes. So driver is supposed to expect others' mistakes, accept others' mistake, and go with their mistakes. But drivers who don't accept others' mistakes, we find them causing a brutal accident which if it is not looked into, then so many people are get involved in a crash, and actually we have seen so many people die because of that.
I'm sorry to interject. When you say expect
Yes.
others' mistakes, what do you actually
Probably
mean?
when you are going to overtake, you want to overtake another vehicle. You must be sure that the road is clear. But some drivers, they are not even sure the road is clear, even in the continuous yellow line.
Okay.
They still overtake. They are not even sure the road is clear. They want to overtake, and then they realize there is another vehicle that is coming.
Yes.
So if at all you realize there is a vehicle that is overtaking without taking a due care,
Yes.
then you are supposed to slow down.
So you have...
This is the unexpected.
Okay.
You never expected that he is going to overtake on the yellow lane. So what are you supposed to do? As a good driver, you are supposed to slow down so that you give them time to pass without any problem.
That is also being a defensive driver. You're being the mature one on the road.
Yes, yes, you must be mature on the road.
Okay.
And that's why I said you must be an adult driver when you are driving.
Amazing. So because of the psychologies that we have seen, adult driver is even safer.
And
now,
then you also need to drive slowly. You know, even if you overspeed, you'll still reach your destination, but you'll be wary. So if you drive slowly, basically you are going to reach where you are going with a lot of energy. And you are going to be having a lot of you are going to be enthusiastic when you reach your destination, as compared to the driver who is overspeeding.
okay.
When you overspeed, you are going to interact with a lot of near misses, which will raise your adrenaline. And you know, when you raise your adrenalines, it brings fatigue, which can result to road accident. So be alert to the changing conditions. We have the environmental conditions which you must change with them. The driver is the one who is responsible for this. We have weather conditions which always change.
Unpredictable.
Unpredictable. We have also the fog at one point. Visibility is also impaired at one point. So the driver has to change with the visibility. And this is what the NTSA tells us.
Okay.
When you see any condition of the road, you add another second.
Okay.
We are supposed to keep a 3-second space. So if at all there is another condition, you are supposed to add one so that they be 4.
Okay.
So we are supposed to maintain a 4-second rule.
Please tell us more on the 4-second rule.
So it's the distance. It's actually it's a good following distance, which is your escape route in case of any hazard that might befall you. If you are a good driver, you must keep enough following distance, especially at the front side of you. Remember, a driver, you only have the action over your driving.
Okay.
But you don't have the action on the other side of the other drivers.
Do you mean action or control?
Control or your actions, you can only control your car, you yourself. And you can control your actions, but you cannot control the action of other drivers on the road.
All right, Mr. John, I know it's been an hour and we're wrapping this up, so I know we should continue this lesson. You know, it could be tomorrow or any other time, according to your flexibility. But for today, I want to allow you give us your closing remarks. Remember, it's lesson time, but, you know, our class has to end and we can carry forward the next, you know, chapter on the module. But, you know, your closing remarks on technical training and how important it is to road safety in about 2 minutes as we wrap up the Arrive Alive this morning.
Thank you so much. May I say that we really need to be safe on the road. The reason why we need to be safe on the road, we need to arrive safe. Remember, the vehicle is not for the purpose that you are going to die, but the vehicle is supposed to make us more comfortable. So if at all you are driving on the road, please remember to follow the rules and guidelines that is imposed by the NTSA, so that we keep at abreast with the other drivers.
All right, and I like that you have added the point of, you know, really respecting those rules and regulations that are put in place to govern and to also help us achieve road safety in whichever capacity, as a passenger, pillion, motorist, boda rider, a biker, either way, even a pedestrian. Now we are urging you to remember to know, you know, how to conduct yourself on the road. users, all for the sake of road safety. At the end of the day, you in the event of a crash, not only do you suffer, but your family and everyone else, including your employer, gets to suffer. Is this what you would choose? Let's find out more on the next Arrive Alive segment tomorrow. But for today, thank you very much for watching. And remember that you are also a road safety ambassador by being a loyal viewer to this segment. We'll be right back with a big conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.